Hi everyone, my name is Ashley with Clover Patch Knits and I'm back for another video. Now today, it is not going to be one of my typical podcast episodes that I make, but actually today I'm going to be sharing with you all 11 beginner knit patterns that I found that I think is amazing. If you are a beginner knitter, you have to try these patterns because they're amazing. And so if you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning back to my channel, thank you so much. But if you are new here on this channel, I do talk about everything wonderful regarding knit and crochet. So if you're new to the hobby, or if you already are in love with the world of knit and crochet, or if you just want to learn about the amazing world of these hobbies, I know you will love this channel. But as I mentioned, I found 11 patterns that I think you all will love. So the first pattern that I'm going to show you all, now this is accessories. We're going to start all with accessories because of course we need accessories, right? So the first pattern that I found are some knit scrunchies. Now I actually plan on making this pattern. Now this comes from the YouTuber Harry Knit channel, and it's her knit scrunchie tutorial. Now this tutorial is so amazing, and I'm going to put the video in the link below so you all can check out the video. But on this pattern, you are going to need DK weight yarn, and if you are shopping in the store, that's typically a number 2 yarn, because I know a lot of yarns, the yarn labels rather, they only put the number on there, but DK weight is typically a number 2, and you are going to use 4mm needles for this. You can use circular. I think she did recommend circular needles for this scrunchies, and then you're going to need an elastic band or hair tie for these scrunchies. Now I recommended this pattern because it should not take you long to make these, because you're going to make a small scrunchie. And for me, when I started out knitting, I started with kind of like small projects, because sometimes doing a big project can definitely feel overwhelming, especially when you're learning how to knit. So I think starting off with a short and like simple project is a great way to start. And I actually cannot wait to make these, because like I said, the tutorial that this YouTuber put out for these knit scrunchies is amazing. So I have to add this on my list so I can go ahead and make these knit scrunchies. I just need to buy myself some hair ties so I can make these scrunchies, but they're so cute. And then you can of course be versatile, like you can buy whatever color yarn you want, and it's so cute. And you can make the scrunchie as large or small as you would like. Now, the next accessory that I found, this is a knit hat, because of course, when you start knitting, you have to like start also making yourself a hat, because it's so much fun. Now, this video comes from Erica Arndt, and I will also put her video in the link below so you can check out this tutorial. Now, the video is called How to Knit a Hat for Beginners. The video tutorial is also amazing. Now, I'm not sure with this video tutorial, she may also have a pattern. But if she does have a pattern for this hat, I also will put that in the link below so you can check that pattern out too. Now, with this hat, you will use bulky weight yarn. Now, let me tell you, bulky weight yarn is amazing, especially as a beginner, because when you're using bulky weight yarn, it helps you finish your project quicker compared to yarn that is like of smaller fibers. So bulky weight yarn is definitely a plus if you are a beginner. And in this, I'm not sure I can't remember what needle size. I think it was like an 8mm needle you may use for this hat, but I am not 100% sure on that. But this hat tutorial is amazing, because on this, I think it's like a beanie type of hat looking pattern, but you can also put a pom-pom on your beanie. And to me, a beanie with a pom-pom just adds like to the level of cuteness. So I always love like a beanie pattern that has a pom-pom, and I think it's so cute. So definitely have to try making a hat, because hats are not difficult, especially when you're using bulky weight yarn and large needles. Now, the next accessory that I found is a scarf, because of course you have to have a scarf. So you've got a headband, you've got a hat, and now you can make yourself a scarf. Now this scarf pattern comes from Sheep and Stitch. This is also another video tutorial. I'm not sure if this one has a pattern for this tutorial, but the tutorial on YouTube is amazing, and the video is called How to Knit a Scarf for Beginners. You are also using chunky yarn, and as I said, chunky yarn or bulky weight yarn is amazing when you are starting out, because like I said, it helps you. You don't have to like spend forever trying to make your project, and you are using 10mm needles for this. Let me tell you, 10mm needles and chunky yarn, you should be able to make this scarf in no time. And also in this scarf, you are going to be using garter stitch. Now that is super amazing, especially for a beginner when you are using garter stitch, because garter stitch, you're just going to be repeating the same stitch over and over, so it helps you practice on garter stitch and it won't be complex, because especially when you are a beginner, I tried to find like patterns. This is when I started knitting, but when I started, I tried to find like patterns that more so had the same stitch. So I would mostly find patterns that had garter stitch, because it's easy to do garter stitch and it teaches you how to do garter stitch, and it's just great practice. So I think this is a great pattern to make. Now the next accessory that I wanted to put on the list, and I have made one of these before and I love these, but it is a twisted headband. Now you all, I love a good twisted headband, because let me tell you why. A twisted headband, like with that twisted effect of the headband, it gives it the extra like oomph to your headband. Like it makes it look like that you spent hours working on this headband, even though you didn't, because headbands are super simple. But the headband pattern that I found is from Twin Peaks Knit, and it's called their Autumn headband. You are also using chunky yarn in this pattern, so that's a plus, of course, and you are going to use 6mm needles for this pattern. And of course, you are able to be versatile with all of these patterns with your colors of the yarn that you're using. So this is amazing. Like if you make all of these accessories, you're going to be set for the winter, and you can wear these accessories in the spring, because you can wear your headband and your scrunchies whenever. So those are some amazing accessory patterns that I think are so cute. And like I said, those knit scrunchies, I'm definitely making those soon because they are so cute, and I may just throw in that twisted headband on my list too, because I love that one. Now the next list of patterns that I found, these of course are garments, because once you get into knitting, I promise you, you are going to want to make yourself like a sweater or something, because it's so much fun. Now the first knit sweater pattern that I found, and I have started making this one a long time ago, but when I tell you, this pattern is amazing, and there is also a YouTube tutorial where the creator shows how to make the sweater. So that's even a plus. Like having a pattern but also a video tutorial is like a plus. Especially if you're a visual learner like myself, having a tutorial is so amazing. But the first beginner sweater pattern that I would recommend, it is called Woodsmoke, and this is by Jessica McDonald. Now I have to give a shout out to this creator. Her patterns are phenomenal. Like even just her other patterns that she has released are so stunning to me. But on this pattern, you're going to use sport weight yarn. I believe sport weight yarn usually is like number 3. I could be wrong, but I think it's number 3 yarn. And you are going to use 2 needle sizes for this sweater. You will use a size 3.25mm and 3.75mm. Now let me tell you another amazing thing about this pattern. So what Jessica did is, with this pattern, she has sizes from infant all the way up to adult. So guess what? If you want to make a baby sweater, you can, or if you want to make a sweater for yourself, you can as well. And another thing, if you are a beginner knitter, like making baby patterns is amazing too, because of course baby patterns are going to be smaller than like an adult pattern. So that also helps too, but I love this pattern. And like I said, with the video tutorial, it is just excellent. And of course with the color, you can pick whatever color yarn you want, but it is just a simple like sweater design. And I think, if I can remember, I believe the whole sweater design is stockinette. So as a beginner, stockinette stitch and garter stitch are like your best friend. So this is definitely an amazing pattern, and I love this one. Now the next sweater that I would recommend, and I actually have made this one and I love this sweater. It is a super simple summer sweater by Locatelli, and I can also give a shout out to this designer as well. I love her patterns. Her patterns are stunning. Now with this pattern, you will use worsted weight yarn. That's like number 4 yarn. Anything with worsted weight in the beginning of your knitting like hobby journey is amazing as well, because worsted weight like garments usually should not take long, but you are going to use 2 needle sizes as well. You are going to use size 3.25mm and 4mm needles to make this sweater. And the great thing about this sweater is, of course, you're able to be versatile with your stripes because this sweater does have stripes on it, but you're able to be versatile with your color. And I also, because I have made the sweater like this, I didn't even worry about doing the stripes the first time I made this pattern. So that's a great thing too, that if you just want to have just a regular and basic tee, you don't have to worry about doing the stripes. But I will show you all the sweater that I made. So this is how it looks. I love this. Well, I need to scoot out a little bit so you all can see it, but that's how it looks. Like I said, just super simple sweater. And another thing that I love about this sweater pattern, and the reason why I recommended this too, because you will learn how to make split hems. So when I say split hems, this is what I mean. And this just gives the perfect, like, cute little design to a sweater. And making a split hem, it looks difficult, but the great thing about this pattern is that it's not difficult at all. And I promise you, like, you can make this sweater and it's so amazing. Now, the only thing about this sweater, if you do decide to make the simple knit summer sweater, only thing, the yarn that is recommended for this pattern, I would not recommend it because for me it's very scratchy. Like, this is the yarn for this sweater. I use the recommended yarn for the sweater and it was not my favorite. Now, you could definitely give it a try, but for me it was super scratchy. So if you are going to try to make this sweater, you may want to try a different yarn. And because I actually don't wear this sweater, it makes me sad because the yarn is just kind of uncomfortable for me, but it may be okay for you. But if you do make this, I would maybe recommend to try another yarn that maybe is a little bit more comfortable. But that is an amazing pattern because it's simple and it's so well written, and I love that pattern. Now, the next sweater that I also made in the beginning of my knitting career is the Basic Color Block Knit by Knitatude. Now, I love her patterns. I can go on and on about Knitatude's patterns. Like, she has amazing, when I say amazing patterns, like amazing patterns. Now, with this, you are going to use Aran weight yarn. I believe Aran weight, maybe that's a number 4. I think that's number 4 yarn, but you use size 6mm needles. So also, that sweater should not take you long as well. This pattern is amazing because you also get to be versatile with your colors. And like the same thing with the super simple knit summer sweater with the basic color block sweater, you can also like take out having 2 colors. And if you just want your sweater to be 1 color, you can do that as well. So it's amazing. I love that sweater. I probably made that sweater in the beginning of like my knit, like I say career, but my knit like hobby journey, probably at least 3 times because you get great practice and it's amazing. Now, the last garment that I found, of course I had to include a tee because tees are great. And then another reason why I wanted to include a tee, because tees are short sleeve, so you don't have to worry about long sleeves, so it's great for a beginner too. But this adorable pattern is called Subpop Tank by Sarah K. Gordon. I love this pattern. Now, I do not think that this pattern has a video tutorial, but it's okay because it should be simple. Now, this one, you are using fingering weight yarn for this, and you are using a 4mm needle for this pattern. Now, this pattern is great because it looks like it consists of just simple stockinette stitches, so that should be easy. And it also teaches you how to do raglan increases. Now, you all, when I started out knitting, anything raglan made me so scared, but you have to learn how to do raglan because a lot of like knit garments consist of raglan increases. But this is be great practice for you, so don't be afraid to do anything raglan like I was, because I was afraid. But I think this would be a great place to start for raglan increases. And like I said, with the tee, it's going to be short sleeve, so you won't have to worry about long sleeves. And with a tee, you typically are using a lot less yarn than a long sleeve pattern, so that is amazing. The next set of patterns that I'm going to show you are household items, because of course you got to make yourself some household items. Now, the first pattern that I'm going to show you all is a blanket. You all, you got to make yourself a blanket because there is nothing like making a blanket, finishing it, and being able to show that blanket off. It's just so exciting and it's such an accomplishment. But the blanket pattern is called Beginner Eyelet Bliss Blanket by Yarnspirations. You all, I can go on and on about Yarnspirations. Like, when I tell you Yarnspirations was my best friend, especially when I started crocheting and knitting, just because their patterns are so amazing. Like, I was always on their website, and they also have a YouTube channel where they post amazing like tutorials of some of the patterns that they put out. So amazing. But with this blanket, you will use super bulky weight yarn and 8mm needles. You all, that is so amazing because it should take you no time to finish this blanket. And with the eyelet design that you are going to get in this blanket, that's just going to add the extra level of cuteness to your blanket. So I would highly recommend that blanket, and I think it is so cute. And the next pattern is also going to come from Yarnspiration, but it is their square beginner pillow. Now with this, you will use bulky weight yarn, and you will use a 6.5mm needle, and I believe you will need a pillow cushion because this should be like your pillow cover for your pillow cushion. But I think this pattern is so cute, and it shouldn't take you long either. And the great thing about this pattern is you can be versatile. Like, I've seen people make this pillow cover with stripes and just making it their own. So I think it is so cute. So guess what? You can have a blanket and your pillow, so you get to have like a cute matching set. So I think that would be so cute together. And the last pattern that I found, you all, this was also one of my favorite things to make when I started, especially when I started crocheting, but it was coasters. Now, this is such a cute pattern. This is the beginner square coasters by NimbleNeedles. It is such amazing tutorial on YouTube as well. But you are going to use 4mm needles for this, and I believe you're using worsted weight or number 4 yarn. I think these coasters are so cute because it's not going to take you long to make these coasters. And also, what I noticed in the thumbnail of this video is it looks like the coasters had tassels as well. So guess what? You get to be versatile. And adding tassels, I never thought about adding tassels to a coaster, but it is just so cute. And I also may make these coasters because I think it's so cute. And with these coasters, you're literally going to make a garter stitch square. Now, there is nothing more simpler than that. Like, you should make these coasters in no time. Like, when I tell you all, I made so many coasters. I don't even think I have them anymore, but I made so many coasters. And like I said, with the amazing YouTube tutorial that you get with these coasters, it should take you no time to make these. So I want to know, if you make any of these patterns, please put in the comments and share how did it go for you. And also, if you already know how to knit and you decide to make some of these patterns, I also want to know how did it go for you as well, because I already know I plan on making one, or if not at least 2 of these patterns that I recommended because I think they're so cute. But we are at the end of this video, so if you stayed this long to watch the whole video, thank you so much. And if you liked this video, you can also give me a like and a subscribe, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Clover Patch Knits, and I'm also over there on Ravelry at Clover Patch Knits without the S on the end, but I'm over there on there as well if you want to follow me on those 2 platforms as well. But you all, I will see you all next time. Bye.